welcome to the Senior Hour. I'm Dr. Gene Dorio with my co-host Barbara Cochran on your hometown station AM 1220 and FM 98.1 KHTS. We are sponsored by Comfort Keepers In-Home Care and Advanced Audiology. This is a show for and about by seniors, and Barbara is off today. So we're winging it by ourselves, but we have great guests in our studios, and Shannon Avazian, who has been on our show with Assisted Living Locators, is on today. And, you know, what you are doing, Shannon, is there's such a need in our valley for this. But let our listeners know how you are bringing and enhancing our seniors' lives here.
Thank you, and we wish Barbara all the well. I hope she gets back to a speedy recovery here. Mm-hmm. I just want to first tell our listeners that, you know, I find the next stage, the next home in your life. And whether, you know, so many of us don't want to really look at that, but, you know, our seniors are getting older, our family members are getting older, and we really need to kind of look what's going on in our own in their lives. Are they safe to be home? What's their day look like? And when you really start to look at that and start to assess their care, some may be, you know, in-home care already, and maybe that care is becoming too costly. And that's usually when I would come in. And when that cost outweighs what's going on at home and you can't afford it, then we really need to start looking at some other options.
Now, our seniors are listening right now, and they're saying, "You're not moving me out of my house. I don't care who you are, especially, hey, the kids, you're just not going to do that. I've been living here for 50 years, and I raised you children here, and I feel comfortable here. I'm not moving." So how do you get over that big hurdle before you do anything else?
Well, that's difficult, and I like to come in and have those difficult conversations. And you're right, most of our listeners are going to say, "I'm not going," and it usually takes an event like, you know, where the doctors are saying it's no longer safe to be home, and that's usually when it'll happen. Or I'll get the call while they're in the hospital saying, "I need to find a better home for mom," just either to recover and be safe, or, you know, for long term. It really depends on what that event is.
And usually it is an event, but you can look at some of the things on a gradual basis. You will start to see those who are living at home falling. Their weight is less. They're not keeping their home clean like they used to, not washing their clothes, and sometimes not even bathing. There's so many more clues to us as we look at our loved ones, and for me, my patients, knowing that, hey, you know, there could be, you know, something going on here that could threaten a person from being able to stay in their home. But it is a big leap. You know, one of the other leaps, Shannon, is that if you lose your driver's license, or if we take your car keys away from you, that is not fun.
Right.
And so this one, to move out of your home, is not subtle anymore. And but it is, as you mentioned already, it is a safety factor to allow people to survive and be able to move forward. So how do you, you know, when you approach our older adults, and, you know, should this not be something that our listeners and family members are already talking about?
There's you know, on my website, there's an actual assessment, and I recommend not only the family members, but even the seniors to take that assessment, and it'll have, you know, your results sent to you by email, and that's going to tell you basically, you know, are you independent? Or could you benefit from maybe in-home services? Or is an assisted living more likely, you know, a better route for you? And that might help with that process for your own self, how you process that, you know, if you're willing to look at that. And what I found, even with my own family members, you know, when someone like yourself, a doctor or someone in the care a care provider will talk to them, it's different than a family member. So if I was to go talk to my own mother, my mother would push whatever I'm saying as her daughter aside. But when I come in as a professional, they are willing to talk to me on a professional level. And usually they'll talk to me and they'll admit that yes, they are struggling in this area. They're aware. So many of our listeners are struggling at home, and they're scared. You know, they're scared that they are going to have that power, that their homes taken away, their cars taken away. And I understand how devastating that is, and I've been through it myself with my own family members. You know, and all we can do is really be there to care for them. And usually once we get them in a place where they are in a secure, safe environment, they start to thrive, you know. And that's really what it's about. It's not suffering at home. So many of us are like, I want to be home, I want to be home. But you really, you know, you're scared, you're unsure, you're not eating well, you're not taking medications well, so that affects how you feel. You know, my mother was you know, she was on a lot of pain medications, and so she wasn't eating properly. Then she's taking the pain medications. Then she's sick. I mean, sick to her stomach, you know, practically on the ground crawling from taking that medication without, you know, the proper diet. And so what I like to focus on is how they, you know, once we get you to a place where, you know, you'll be safe and you'll have the care you need. You know, what will your day look like? How much better will you feel? You know.
You know, and just so our listeners also know that it's not a big, you know, it's a threat to them listening to what we're saying, but the other side of the coin is that it's not always one leap, you know, going over the edge of the cliff. You know, we watch real carefully how you are doing. We look at the situation, and we do try to, you know, bring in-home care in.
Absolutely.
But, you know, sometimes that doesn't work, or sometimes it's too expensive. And there are no other options left to, you know, find a place where you are secure. So what kind of places are we talking about when we, you know, our seniors especially are worried about where are they going? I don't want to go to a nursing home. Right, then they're saying that, but what other kinds of places are we looking at that, you know, are where they'll flourish?
We have, and we've discussed about this so many times, how many options we have just locally in Santa Clarita. You know, we have the large communities that are just amazing. You know, they're being built, and you know, when I walk into the Oakmonts, I say, "Where's our Oakmonts for the 40, 50-year-olds?" You know. But, you know, it just really depends on the care that they need and what that budget looks like. So many people, I'm actually working with a client right now, it's the opposite. She was told you want to go into a nursing home. And so it's really about education, and maybe you can explain you don't get to make that decision. You don't say, hey, I'm going into a nursing home. You have to be put into a nursing home through the doctor system, right? How does that work? Maybe you can educate.
Well, it's there's a process, and you know, nowadays, unfortunately, when you are admitted to a hospital, you know, hospitals all over the country, you know, you're in and out. You know, you get your 4 days. I actually don't call them hospitals anymore. I call them triage centers. And you know, usually if you hit 4 days, they're trying to kick you out as fast as possible. But when they know that you cannot go home safely, they're sending you to they'll call it a rehab center, but it's really a nursing home. You know, they've rebranded some of these places because of the sound of it and, you know, the worries of what's on people's mind. But it's not you know, nursing homes are generally difficult to digest and understand and want to go to, but they're being sent there. And they don't like that fact. You want to be able to plan ahead, though, and you know, it's rare. I mean, I've never really had anybody say to me, "Please send me to a nursing home." You know, everybody has said, "What are my options?"
Right,
and
before
you know,
the nursing home.
Oakmont you had mentioned, and they're, you know, beautiful and lovely assisted living facilities, and they do very well. They're boarding cares that people can go to also, but we also need more options in not just our community but around the country for where are our older adults going to go.
And that's, you know, we're seeing that bridge as of right now. We have, ranges from, let's just discuss, a budget, anywhere from $2,000 all the way up to $10,000. It really depends on what that budget looks like, and what that includes is going to be your base rent, your utilities, your, care, and also your daily medications, your assistance with that as well. So it's really, what that person's budget looks like is really going to determine what, properties they can go into. But I work with...
It's sad, though, that, it's a money situation. I mean, not that government needs to pay everything, not that people should be able to afford this automatically, but we, should have that fail-safe way of treating our older adults. And we have this huge baby boom population that's up and coming. So, we're going to have a hard time, Shannon. You're going to be busy. Yeah. So we're going to take a break. We're talking with Shannon Avazian from Assisted Living Locators on your hometown station, 98.1 FM and AM 1220 KHTS.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you.
Your building sign is essential to getting customers to your location. Feathers can help you get your business noticed. Feathers, now in a new, larger space with plenty of parking. They walk you through each phase of your project with special attention to detail and quality. Feathers will provide you with a sign that you can be proud of. Your sign will draw customers in instead of having them drive by. Visit Feathers online at feathersigns.com or go to Feathers' brand new, bigger location at 26017 Huntington Drive off Rye Canyon or call 298-9442.
Mission Valley Bank is a commercial bank in the Santa Clarita Valley that really puts the community into community banking.
At Mission Valley Bank, we strive to be a trusted advisor to our clients, and that means being an integral part of the communities we serve. We started the Give Where You Live program to help bring awareness to our nonprofit partners. We're more than just a local business bank. In fact, we're a full-service, independent commercial bank that is locally owned, community-minded, and relationship-driven. I'm Tamara Gurney, President and CEO of Mission Valley Bank, and I invite you to experience the Mission Valley Bank difference, where your success is our mission. We want to be your most valued bank.
Mission Valley Bank has been named Most Trusted Advisor Business Banker by the San Fernando Valley Business Journal 5 years in a row and received the Business Leadership Award by the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce, Valley Industry Association, and SCV Economic Development Corporation. Visit them at their Center Point branch location or at missionvalleybank.com. Member FDIC.
The popular Summer Beach Bus is back. The city of Santa Clarita is now offering rides to Santa Monica Beach on Saturdays and Sundays now through September 1st. Forget dealing with traffic or money for parking. Ride to the beach with ease on one of the city's comfortable, air-conditioned commuter express buses. Bring your beach chairs, coolers, and surfboards. Fares are only $3 each way for children and adults, $1.50 each way for seniors 60 years or older, and persons with disabilities. For more information, visit SantaClaritaTransit.com.
Imagine a 100% maintained solar energy system with no out-of-pocket expense. Imagine a solar company with big corporate experience here in Santa Clarita, made up of experts who live and work in our valley. Find out how simple it is to reduce your energy expenses now with a free consultation from HomeLink Solar. We are your neighbors. HomeLink Solar, your home better, your life better. Visit HomeLinkPros.com to find out how you can save with solar with no out-of-pocket expense.
Hi, it's Ashley with Waste Management. Have you ever heard the phrase, one bad apple spoils the bunch? The same is true for recycling. One non-recyclable item can spoil an entire load of otherwise good material. This may seem like a small issue, but it represents a huge problem that's preventing tons of recyclables from ever seeing a second life. Working together, we can do better by following 3 simple rules. Recycle all bottles, cans, cardboard, glass, and paper. Keep items clean and dry, and no plastic bags in the recycling. For more recycling tips, follow us on Twitter at WM_SoCal.
We all know sometimes people lose their way. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, the Way Out Recovery SCV may have the answers you've been waiting for. The Way Out is the premier intensive outpatient treatment center serving Santa Clarita. Asking for help is the first step. Call the Way Out today, 661-296-4444. That's 296-4444 for a private free assessment. The Way Out is an accredited, affordable outpatient program that accepts most insurance. Call us at 661-296-4444 or check us out online at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. Quit battling with yourself. Ask The Way Out for help today.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Dr. Gene Dorio on your hometown station, 98.1 FM and AM 1220 KHTS. We're talking with Shannon Avazian from Assisted Living Locators. And, you know, one of the things, Shannon, you mentioned earlier was about an assessment. And for me, having an understanding of where a person stands in life is important. Sometimes a person develops some memory problems, and we can assess that and just see the direction they might be going. But you mentioned there was an assessment also that you have on your website.
Yeah, so if you go to Assisted Living Locators and put in our zip code, it's going to pull up my sitelet. And from there, there's an actual assessment that you can do in the privacy of your own home. It would be emailed directly to you. And it will walk you through a questionnaire. And I'm working with someone today, and it came back mostly independent. So that tells me and that person that they're in great shape, actually. They don't need much assistance. So it will tell you, are you independent? Do you need maybe some home services in home? Or would you, like I said, better off with an assisted living? And that really depends on how these questions are answered. So again, you could do that in the privacy of your own home and have this information directly emailed to you.
But it's a little bit scary because right then and there you're being assessed, and that's important to do. But the other side of the coin is, when do you reassess? When do you take the test again and get, because things aren't stagnant. Things don't just because, at 80 years old you're fine, it doesn't mean at 85, because things are changing. You might start to develop symptoms. You might have falls. You might lose your driver's license. All these things could be going on, and if you don't assess it or reassess it, then you might not know, and you might be thinking and have faith, that first assessment, I'm fine at 80 years old, and realize that maybe you're not.
Right, and that, it is one of those things. I think we probably all have to go through that at some point in our own lives. But going through it as a family member for my mother, and all the, seniors that I work with, we said earlier, it comes to accepting some of that for your own, we know what's going on in our life. If we're, don't have dementia and other, diseases like that. But, sometimes it's just, trying to be real with ourselves. And we know, what, my finances, my bills aren't being paid. I'm hitting the car all the time, the dings in the car. I just don't feel good. And sometimes it's just, really taking a hard look and accepting, what, I'm not, maybe as healthy as I used to be. And what does that look like, and what can I do about it? You and myself are not here. We're not interested in, taking you from your home and, just locking you up somewhere. That's not the common goal. The common goal is to keep you in your home, thriving. And if that's not safe to do anymore, then let's look at maybe some other options. And these options are really great. I mean, I have client after client that, maybe wasn't necessarily looking to do that, and the situation came up and they're in there and they're sending me messages, thanking me, because now they're starting to thrive again, like we said. So, there's lots to choose from. And
when I practiced, I practice preventive medicine. Stop smoking, lose weight, do exercise, things like that. Some basic stuff. But, in life, you have to be preventative also, and you have to anticipate what your needs are. Certainly, you have your own comfort zone and where you want to be, and your securities are there. But it does change, and life does change, and we have to be aware of that. And getting that assessment, I think, is pretty key, Shannon. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
That, if you don't have that in your back pocket, then, you don't have a whole lot relative to, where you might, when you might need to be going or moving and getting out of your situation, because it does become dangerous.
it does become.
And the last thing that you need is to fall and break a hip. The last thing you need is to fall and have a concussion. And the last thing you need is to, start not living as well and eating as well. And, all of a sudden you're starting to get infections and diabetes, and blood pressure goes up, and medications are taken incorrectly, blah, 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 blah. I mean, these things just happen. So you have to, have that wariness, and of your loved ones as well, as caregivers and watching over them. You have to be aware that if you practice what I do, preventiveness in life, and keeping the bad things away, you can live longer and still have super quality of life.
And one thing we haven't mentioned is the loneliness. How many seniors are at home alone? So, look at the social aspect of different things too. Was it just going to a senior center, and meeting up with like-minded people so you can have some of that social interaction to keep some of that depression down, so we don't have to take that medication for depression. There's a lot to be said for.
Yeah, isolation and loneliness is a huge topic that maybe next time you're on we can talk about that, because I think that is a key element that allows people, when you're striving in the right way, allows you to stay in your home.
Absolutely.
Shannon Avazian from Assisted Living Locators. Your phone number is 661-544-1004. But I think your website at assistedlivinglocators.com is so worthy to check out that assessment.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on the show today.
Always
we
appreciate
it. Up and coming, we have members from our senior hour, and we're going to have a really great conversation in the next half hour. So stay tuned on your hometown station, 98.1 FM and AM 1220.
If you're tired of your nail polish chipping a day or two after an expensive manicure, then you'll love the gel nail polish manicure now offered by Ann. Ann is a licensed manicure serving the Santa Clarita Valley in Canyon Country for over 15 years. And now she's offering the gel manicure that lasts without chipping for up to 2 weeks. Log on to hometownstation.com for details on how to get an amazing deal on gel nails by Ann on Restaurant Row, or call Ann at 250-8340.
La Esmeralda is home to truly authentic Mexican food. This family-owned restaurant prides itself on its fresh-to-order menu. Even the tortillas are made in-house. If you have a taste for sizzling fajitas, flautas, or menudo, you have to try La Esmeralda's Mexican and Seafood Restaurant. Dine in or order out for the most authentic Mexican food Santa Clarita has to offer. Their Taco Tuesdays, it'll turn you into a regular. La Esmeralda on Bouquet at Haskell.
Do you ever listen, but you're not really paying attention? Sort of like what you're doing to me right now. This is Alex Urbina, your advanced life coach specialist. One of the most frequent questions I hear is, what is a life coach? Well, tune in every Friday at noon to learn the value of having a coach and listen to a live coaching session on the radio. Right here on your hometown station, KHTS.
Once heart attack symptoms begin, delaying treatment increases the risk of heart damage, disability, and even death. Time is critical. Leading the Valley with the most advanced digital technology and treatment times that beat national best practice goals, Providence offers emergency coronary angioplasty and stenting performed by highly trained board-certified cardiologists. For more information, call 1-888-HEALING. The road to healing leads to Providence.
You've been assigned to plan your office party. Time to bring in the experts. AV Party Rentals is your go-to place for the most innovative holiday party ideas. AV's been planning Santa Clarita events from giant galas to intimate gatherings for longer than, well, since Rudolph was a young fawn. AV will turn your office party into a winter wonderland. See the latest holiday displays at Santa Clarita's favorite wedding, party, and holiday event rental store, AV Party Rentals on Newhall Avenue and at avpartyrental.com.
Hey, all you savvy style seekers, extraordinary deals on designer brands await you at the outlets at Tejon. Find the latest fashion and accessories at Michael Kors, H&M, Levi's Outlet Store, Coach, and Calvin Klein. Shop for the whole family at Gap Outlet, American Eagle Outfitters, Oshkosh B'gosh, and Nike Factory Store. Even style your home with Pottery Barn Outlet and Le Creuset. All at amazing everyday value you won't find anywhere else. Join our VIP club today to receive your free coupon brochure filled with hundreds of dollars in additional savings. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or visit TejonOutlets.com for the latest sales and events. Your must-shop stop is located just 40 minutes north on I-5.
Shop the brands you love for back to school. Go back in style with everyday savings of 65% off the coolest looks for school from H&M, Nike, Journeys, Tilly's, Skechers, Carter's, Oshkosh B'gosh, and Famous Footwear. Visit TejonOutlets.com for the latest deals.
Your hometown station.
It can happen at any time. Breaking news in the Santa Clarita Valley. KHTS has you covered. Brush fires, emergency freeway closures, police activity. If it's happening in the SCV, we'll let you know about it with our breaking news coverage. Keep a channel preset to your hometown station, KHTS.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Congratulations to Dave Reeves and his team at Reeves Complete Auto Center. They just celebrated their 11th year of serving the Santa Clarita Valley.
Thank you so much for choosing Reeves Complete Auto Center. I know you have plenty of choices for your car repair needs, so we appreciate you picking Reeves.
Tune-ups, brakes, transmissions, 30, 60, and 90,000 mile services, and much more. Find out about their special lifetime oil change program. Reeves Complete Auto Center on Ruther in Canyon Country. Find them online at reevesservice.com.
Please remember to support the Boys and Girls Clubs of Santa Clarita and the SCV Rotary Club.
Your hometown station.
It's no secret that KHTS has the best midday talk show lineup around. If you've missed any of your favorites, no problem. KHTS has you covered. Podcasts for all the midday shows can be found right on our website, hometownstation.com. Whether you missed a show from 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years ago, and you want to catch up, we got you covered. They're all right there. Plus extra podcasts too. That's hometownstation.com. Hometownstation.com.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Dr. Gene Dorio on your hometown station, 98.1 FM and AM 1220 KHTS. We're now joined in the studio by Robin Clow and Diane Troutman, and they're here to talk about senior shared living. This is a new concept here in Santa Clarita that was actually a concept from 10 years ago, and it didn't work because I helped to bring the concept up. It didn't work, but they're bringing it back in full flare because it is going to work this time, because there is a huge need in Santa Clarita because senior women are becoming homeless. And this community is not going to allow that to happen. So I want the two of you to tell our community what you are up to and how you're gonna ignite this thing, get this going, and help save people's lives and move people forward. Robin?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having us and for allowing us to raise awareness of this very critical program. I mean, I work at the Santa Clarita Valley Senior Center at Bella Vita, and one of the main issues I see amongst seniors who are there is their anxiety about housing. Rents just keep going up, but their Social Security is not going up. They don't know how they're going to make their next payment. And there's just so much anxiety about this. And that's what the Senior Center and what our Senior Shared Living Program is all about. If there is a need, we are going to find a resource and a plan for that. So about 3 years ago?
It was early 2017.
2017.
Yep.
Yes, a group of us got together. We were like-minded. We recognized this terrible problem that's going on, this crisis, and we wanted to remedy it. So we got together. It was Diane Troutman here with me, who was the former planning commissioner for the city, and just has a huge heart and extremely good ideas. So we're so happy to have her as a part of the team. Peggy Edwards, who's the foundation president of Bridge to Home Homeless Shelter. Mary Jane Hartman, who's on the Committee on Aging. And Linda Davies, who was the executive director of Domestic Violence. And Gigi Alexander, who had this idea, and she took it to Linda, and Linda ran with it and contacted all of us, and that's how it became what we called Sisters in Time, and it's evolved to become a program of the Senior Center.
And I agree, Jean, we've known about this. I remember forming our group of seniors back in 2008, and we knew that there were issues then with people and crisis in their rents. And of course, the rents have continued to go up, and we know that there are people who are living in mobile home parks who are being priced out and that sort of thing. So this crisis has been building. And the great part about this process is that Gigi Alexander is a member of the public who came before us and said, talked to Linda and said, what about if we do this? How about this shared program? And to me, that's like the essence of a community member helping to build things in the community. And I'd like to see more of that, actually, where people can step forward and say, I have this great idea. What do you think? What can we do with it?
Grassroots.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very important. So, yes, we're focusing on senior women right now because senior women are becoming homeless at a higher rate than other populations. Eventually, we'd like to see this evolve into something that can reach out to others. With our program, we're addressing the needs of women 55 and older, and one of the parties has to be at least 55 in order to be a part of this. But we could have, a couple perhaps who have an opening in their home to invite a senior to live there. We wanted to set up a program, though, that was structured so that it would guide people through a process, give them the steps that are necessary, but kind of hold their hands along the way. And when we first started putting this together, we said, well, do we need to put together a new nonprofit? And we thought, well, there are so many nonprofits in the community, and there's so many that do so much good. And that's a whole other effort unto itself. That would take a lot of time, too. Fortunately, Kevin McDonald talked to the board, Committee on Aging, and they agreed that they would bring us in as a program for the Senior Center, which is fantastic, so that we could work on putting together the steps necessary to guide seniors through. Hopefully we'll have all of that up on the internet soon, but we have it on paper now, so people can contact the Senior Center and talk to an SCV Senior Shared Living representative to get more information.
So for clarity, for those senior women who are listening right now who might be in jeopardy of possibly becoming homeless, and for those individuals in Santa Clarita who might live in a situation, a home or a large apartment or a condominium where there is space available, we're looking to try to match up individuals. Is this correct, Robin? Am I saying
Yes,
everything
this
right?
is correct, and it's a self-matching program.
Mhm.
So we are the senior shared living is the intermediary.
Right.
Mhm.
We guide them through the process. People will come to us. They will give us their information, fill out forms, and let us know if they have a room to share or if they're seeking a room. And we exchange information. They exchange information, and then it's they themselves decide if it's a good match or
Right. So
not.
this isn't something where outside people are making decisions for the two parties. These parties are making the decision themselves because there's going to be worry and fear on each side. You know, is this the right match? Is this the right fit? And you know, you don't want to do an algorithm and try to figure out, you know, match a person's life to another person's life. That doesn't always work.
Well,
You know,
and
you
that's
have to
why-
really talk one-on-one and see the situation, and you know, and then in the long run be able to have some choices as well.
That's why we've laid it out as we have for them, because we walk them through the considerations that you have to have going into this. You know, what are you looking for in a housemate? What qualities do you like? Which qualities do you not like? Which qualities would be, you know, a deal breaker? What you know, do you have pets? Do you have allergies? All sorts of things, all sorts of considerations that people might not otherwise consider if they go online and look at a home
Right.
sharing program, for instance, you know, something that they can sign up for and pay for. In this case, we're not asking them to pay something. We're asking them to go through each step to look at what it is that is compelling them. It may not be purely financial in the case of a householder, somebody who has the ability to maintain their home and pay their mortgage and all of that. They may simply have room available and want to share it, and that could provide them some extra income. A housemate may just not want to live on their own. We're getting to a point where people need to be able to feel, well, we always know that people need to feel connected, but I hear from people all the time, I live alone, nobody would know if something happened to me.
Right.
You know, knowing that there's someone there, even if you're not going to engage in building a friendship, for instance, with that person, which may certainly happen, but you'd have somebody there who knows your comings and goings, who knows how you are, and can act if there's an emergency and help you. That's a great benefit.
There's no doubt about it. And, you know, here in Santa Clarita, for years we used to monitor all seniors who might become homeless. We did not allow seniors to come to that where they would not have a roof over their head. But in this day and age, you know, in our latest tracking, I think there were 13, but this may have been quite a while, 6 months ago, 13 seniors that were homeless. But there's no doubt it's gone up. You know, I participated in going out and counting those, and sometimes you can't tell for some of those who are out there whether they indeed are older than 55 or not. You can't tell. Sometimes we couldn't tell, are they men or women? And so, but we know that both the population, that number is going up. And, you know, for those of you who are listening, who might have a place and are thinking about it, you know, you really do have to open your heart and think about the elements acting on somebody who might be 70 years old. How are they going to take their medication? You know, how are they going to bathe? How are they going to go to the bathroom? You know, how are they going to eat? How are they going to cook food? How will they keep doctor appointments? How is any of this going to take place? And this is what many people are facing now, even in our community. And we have to try our best to appreciate that, understand that, and do something about it. And Santa Clarita has always been doing something about the negative things that happen in life to people. And we have done so well in our community to be able to bring the lives up of everybody. And that is what both of you are doing and your group is doing as well.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the city, yes, they are really tackling this problem, not only for seniors, but, the whole homeless population here in Santa Clarita. There's a homelessness task force, and they recognize that seniors should be a part of this task force. So our senior shared living is included, so we do have input in the city's plan to prevent homelessness. So we're really excited about that. But yes, it is a win-win for the person seeking the home and the person sharing, not only financially, it prevents isolation. And there's just a long list of benefits, the financial, someone to care for you. And there can even be, for a lowering of rent, they can work out terms where they can exchange some type of doing
service, yeah.
house cleaning, transportation, things of that nature. So, and you do not, only one party has to be a senior, 55 or older. The other person might be a single mom or a student. It could be anybody. And it's so nice to bring the generations together too, and bring this grandparent type generation into a family or into a home.
So when people come to the senior center, they fill out an application. Are the families invited too? I mean, if there were families invited, I guess they'd be helping their loved ones out. But if there are families who are involved in having a room available or a space available, that whole conversation has to have already taken place.
Well, we haven't built in upfront involvement of the family. Certainly, if there's a householder who has room and wants to lease it out, they should have that conversation. Again, this is an independent action. They need to think about, if there's family nearby, are they going to have that conversation? With or without that, they're acting independently, and they come to us and say, I have a room, I have a good-sized home, this is what I've got. They will put together an ad. We've given them a sample of how to do that. And they'll contact us and let us know, and when someone makes an inquiry, we'll say, here's something that sort of matches up to what you're looking for. And we'll help start those conversations too. And we can walk people through that and have them make those considerations. We want to make sure, though, that people understand that we're not introducing a caregiving aspect to this. People need to be able to function fairly independently. They may have some issues that need to be dealt with, but we're not asking the householder to bring somebody in who needs to be tended to in a caregiver or a nursing kind of way. If that occurs, that's something after that match is made, and I want to make sure people understand that. If that occurs after the match is made, we would have a case manager come in to try to help both parties figure out how to move forward, help that person who needs the extra help the householder. And if there's a situation where a particular match doesn't work out, despite the fact that people have done a lot of background on this and they have really walked through all of these steps, things can happen. A housemate may have to move out of state for some reason. They may be moving in with family to take care of grandchildren or something. So those things can happen, and we will work through that situation and help that householder find a new housemate. So
what if you have a family that says, we've heard about granny homes, and our granny is not going to want a granny home for 20 or 30 years, but they're willing to start something off and, put a granny home in just in case, and maybe it's already there. But, it would be to their advantage to say, okay, let's give this a trial to see if this is a senior-friendly home, and that person can move in and age in place there.
Right. Accessory dwelling units is another word for the granny flats, and that is not widely accepted. I think the city council's actually voted against permitting those under state law. I'll have to go back and verify that, but I know that there was a vote taken on it, and people are concerned about.
Because state law, though, allows it. But
yes.
I think we're pretty progressive here in Santa Clarita, and to me, it won't take too much convincing for the public to talk to city council and say, this, we have to do this. This is a part of the process of how we take care of each other.
Well, it has to, you know, as with every other decision that's made in the community for the community, there should be discussions with the public up front about what does this mean, what does it not mean. I remember seeing a comment on social media recently about accessory dwelling units, and they're just going to allow people to convert their garages, their attached garages and things like that. You know, the city's not going to flip its code on requirements for garages that are a part of a home, but in other areas, in Hollywood and other areas of Los Angeles, you have garages that are separate. There's a driveway and it goes to this separate little area. Those can be converted. And in fact, this, I believe it's the city of Los Angeles, is piloting a program where they're offering something in the neighborhood of $75,000 toward a conversion, which can be maybe $125,000 or something. They're offering money toward that if those householders who do that are willing to rent those properties out to homeless individuals for a set period of time. So it's, you know, they're buying into it. But people need to understand what accessory dwelling units, what granny flats are and aren't, and each individual community can decide how those can meet their standards.
Yeah, and you know, that's going to be a great conversation. I think that, you know, we all have to have in the direction we're going to go. But has your program launched yet? Are you taking in applications?
Yes, we're about to. The website is about to be completed, so that will be the official launch. But in the meantime, we want to try to assist anybody who needs it. So we've already started doing it on paper. And you had mentioned a family coming with someone. Well, the people we've already seen 3 or 4 people just since Friday. And I've heard from our support service department there are a lot more inquiring about us. So they have brought someone with them, which I thought was interesting, and I think it's a great idea, an extra pair of ears. But we are so thorough. We have forms and samples, and we personally walk them through everything. Some examples, they start off with a self-assessment. Why do you want to do this? Is this something you really want to do? Have you thought about this or that? So makes you think a little bit more about the situation. Yeah. If this is something they really want to get into. And then our householder will create an ad, tell a little bit about what their home is like and what they're looking for. You know, if they have pets, if they're looking for someone who, you know, goes to bed before 10 or things of that nature. And there's a limitation of liability because the senior center, of course, is not going to be responsible. It's a self-matching program. And we ask them to screen, you know, the home seeker, the home sharer, the householder, I guess we would call it. The householder, we have a lot of screening samples so that they can make sure that this is the right person. And once they've determined, oh, this looks like this person might be a good match for me, they'll call them and do a phone interview. And we even have sample interview questions for both parties.
Oh, wow.
To see what type of questions do you want to ask. These are, and if that goes well, then they come to the senior center and meet with us. There'll be a senior shared living representative there to meet with them for that in-home interview, and we do have sample questions for that. If that is successful, then we encourage them to get to know each other even better by going out for lunch or coffee or something. That becomes, if they still seem to be a good fit, then we will go with them for a home tour of the home. And that's when the final process and agreements are made.
So is this whole process that you're talking about, is this unique to Santa Clarita? Are you guys making the wheel?
Yes.
Yes. Not an easy task, is it? Because you got to
be the model for the rest of the nation. We've been looking around the country, and actually people from as far as Vermont have contacted us about the program that we're doing. And we've learned from others. We've gotten some great information from people who are doing something somewhat similar, but we've made it our own, made it made it for Santa Clarita and for the type of results and care we want to give.
Well, it sure is exciting what you guys are doing, and it's very humanitarian as well. But I'm not surprised that the two of you are involved, and I'm not surprised with the group that you have that are involved, and I'm not surprised that the senior center is involved. But it is clearly something that is going to be needed around the country. But with all of you doing what you're supposed to do and trying to get this going, I admire you for doing that. This is not an easy task, but in your hands, I know it's going to just flourish.
Well, we know that the demand is there. Elsewhere, I don't know if it was the city of Lancaster, Palmdale, inquired about the program. Peggy Edwards and I went out to the San Gabriel Valley COG and talked to them too.
Congratulations. Good job. If they want to get a hold of you, 259-9444, Robin Cloud, Diane Troutman, appreciate your coming on today. Senior Shared Living. We are sponsored by Comfort Keepers In-Home Care and Advanced Audiology. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.
Open my door. Debbie Morris has a